What's up everyone, it's Joey here from the Commander's Lair with another video. Today I'll be showing my Zurzoth Chaos Rider deck. This is a $30 at the time of recording, so it's like an ultra budget deck. Basically, I'll just read Zurzoth real quick. So he's 2 and a red for a 2/3 legendary creature devil. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature deals damage. So when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever one or more devils you control attack one or more players, you and that player each draw a card, then discard a card at random. Basically, what's happening here is, break it down real quick. So he's creating devils. So he's a devil tribe with him because he's a devil. He's dealing damage. He's got burn effects on him, with the devils dying, and then he obviously has a discard theme. So you can do any of those. You can flesh it out to kind of do one of those, any of those in this kind of deck. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine them all, because if you've ever played mono red or kind of deck cards like this, you see how they synergize. All of these themes kind of go quite well together. It's a bit of a kind of a chaos shell with some, burn, with creating all these devils, just dealing lots of damage, constantly just churning the deck, drawing lots of cards. And so basically the good thing about this is that so you can attack multiple players, and basically for each opponent you attack, they're going to obviously draw a card and discard a card at random, and so are you. So you're gonna get lots of triggers off that. But the thing is that's gonna trigger the first ability. So you're gonna get a 1/1 devil, red devil for each opponent that does that. And also, so that first ability triggers each turn when your opponent draws a card and it's not their turn. So if they play some instant speed thing, or they have like a heuristic study out, then you're gonna be drawing a card every time that triggers. So it's just really useful for that kind of effect as well. Just getting kind of incidental devils, and so we're going to be building around that, and I'll just get straight into the video. First thing we're going to be talking about, and one of the more devoted parts of the deck, is going to be the devil tribal. So basically what we're going to be doing is making lots of devils, because they synergize well with that burn, so they kind of work with the burn cards as well, and they ping. Also kind of good to finish the game on making lots of devils, and it just synergizes well with our commander, because we get lots of them by using abilities. So cards like Devil Playground, great. It's 4 red for a sorcery. Put 4 1/1 red devil creature tokens onto the battlefield, and when they die, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, just like the devils that Zurzoth makes. So a lot of the devils are going to be doing that kind of effect. And basically it's just great, we kind of get more, so if someone board wipes, going to have lots more creatures on board to, ping our opponents. Otherwise we're going to have attackers that can buff up at the end of the game, or just, devils for the various synergies that we have. And then the other kind of devils we're playing is cards like Wildfire Devils. So it's 3 and a red for a 4/2 devil. When it ETBs, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you choose a player at random, so you don't get to pick the player, and then that player exiles an into a sorcery card from the graveyard, so they pick the card, but then you get to copy it, and you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So basically you don't pick the player or the card, but at the they get to pick the card, and it triggers when you cast it. So 4 mana, you get 1 trigger, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you get it every single turn of yours. So that's not bad either. So it kind of triggers quite often, and basically what you can either do here is, the randomness effect, because you're picking a random player, kind of picks up with the chaos effect of the deck, doing all these crazy things, not knowing what's going to happen next, just with that part of the deck. Or obviously you can kind of sort of get some kind of a politics going, saying, hey, could you try and exile that removal spell and I can get it back and I can kill that person's commander or something. Kind of get politics going, make some deals and whatnot. Or, just play with the randomness theme that we've been talking about throughout. So as I mentioned, those devils are going to be dying and pinging, and obviously in a red deck we're going to have lots of burn effects, and just dealing lots of damage straight up. That's how the deck's going to be playing, lots of creatures attacking, all aggro kind of style. So cards like Torbrand fuel that really well. So he's 1 red, which is destructive obviously, but not in mono red. It's a 2/4 dwarf noble, so he's not a devil, but whenever a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent that player controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So whenever our devils die, they're dealing 3 damage instead of 1. So if someone board us and we have 5 devils, we deal 15 damage, which is obviously really big. It's enough to put someone's life down a considerable amount. Or with kind of effects that are triggered off Zurzoth, we can get lots of devils, or just swinging in for damage and hitting someone with 5 1/1s will do 15 damage instead of 5, which is a very big increase. So burn spell that works really well with the cards like Red Sun Zenith. It's pretty basic, pretty simple, but I just like the card. It's X and a red for a sorcery. It has a fireball effect, so it deals X damage to target creature or player, and then if the creature would be dealt damage the way, you exile instead, and then so if a creature would die, you exile instead, and then you should shuffle it into your library. So basically, buffing it up through cards like Torbrand, or just finishing off a game, when we get an opponent really low by hitting them constantly with all our creatures and our devils dying, sometimes they're in range where if we can just dump all our mana, we can just kill them. So it's really useful for that. One of the ways we're going to be getting our opponents low is cards like Cavalcade of Calamity. It's 1 red for an enchantment. Whenever your creature controls power 1 or less attacks, so pretty much all the creatures we're playing, this deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature's attacking. So if we swing out with, let's say, 5 1/1s, right? We're going to be hitting them for, so let's say 5 1/1s, they all get blocked, they do no combat damage, right? We're going to hit them for 5 damage for Cavalcade of Calamity. Let's say Torbran's out, right? So that's 15 damage. So they get blocked, but they still does 15 damage because it doubles, it adds 2 damage to it, and it deals 1 for each creature. And then they all die, so we all get 1 ping off that. And there's 5 creatures dying, so it gets tripled by Torbran, so we deal 15 damage again. So that's 30 damage for attacking with 5 devils that are blocked, for just 2 random cards in the deck being out on the field. So pretty much we just get kill someone for attacking with 5 1/1s that die. We don't have to connect. It's just really, really powerful, you know, buffing up our burns, getting extra value off that. We also have a couple of ball cards like Torbran that just increase, you know, the damage that we dealt per thing dying as well, which is quite useful. So lastly, we have the other theme in the deck. You know, I mentioned there's kind of 3 main themes. This is the one we're leaning into the least, the discard theme. So cards like Angie's Ravager, it's 2 and a red for a 3/3 Vampire Berserker. So it's not as Devil, so it doesn't synergize with that. But but it's still useful. So it attacks each combative evil. It has Madness for 1 and a red. So if we discard it with Zurzoth, we can play it out. Cards like that are really useful. Madness in this deck is quite nice because obviously we're going to be discarding cards often, so it's useful to cast them for less. And so whenever it attacks, discard your hand and then draw 3 cards. So a lot of what we're doing in this deck is rummaging and looting. So we're just going to be drawing lots, discarding lots. We're not going to have too many cards in hand, and often discarding lots of cards, drawing 3 isn't the end of the world because oftentimes we're going to be down there anyway. You know, 2-3 cards in our hand, so it's really not that bad to use its effect. It's just, you know, nice to refresh our hand. And then certainly Badger Source, one of the better cards in this deck. It gets value constantly, so it only triggers ourselves. So, but it's 3 and a red for a 3/3 is a Badger Dinosaur. Again, not a Devil, but it has whenever you discard a creature, put a 1/1 counter on it, which has happened a lot. Whenever you discard a land, you create a treasure token, and when you discard a non-creature non-land, it fights for non-target creature you don't control. So basically, this is doing 3 things. It's getting a big creature to hit people with, it's ramping us, and it's killing things. So removal, win con, and a ramp all on 1 card. It's quite slow, but it is really useful. At least once per turn this will trigger. It's just really great to get that out there. It can, you know, hit for a lot and just synergize all the discard that we're going to instantly be doing, which is kind of what this deck does with the discard. We don't focus on it, but we're instantly going to be using it, just getting value off it. Now onto the win cons. The first one is going to be one of the favorite cards in the deck here. I'm going to talk about it definitely at some point on my underrated cards videos. One of my favorite cards probably in existence actually. So it's 2 and a red for an instant. Attacking creatures get +X+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of non-basic lands defending player controls. So basically, with people playing lots more colors in their decks and all the new flashy non-basics coming out, people are way more likely to play non-basics. So they're going to be trying to fix their mana, play these cool effects, you know, do all these different things with their non-basics. That, you know, basic lands are really on a, you know, kind of a decrease. People think people should play more basics on a general, but basically it's not really unlikely that someone's going to have 5 or 10 basics in their deck. If it's a Home Druid deck, they might even have like 1 or 2. So basically it's going to be all non-basics. It's not unlikely that you're going to get 6, 7 power off this just for 3 mana, which is really useful. Just especially with all the devils we're making, you're just going to give them heaps of damage. It's really useful pumping through at the end of the game. And then Scourge Devils does a similar thing. It's less powerful, but it is stapled onto a devil body, so it's 4 and a red for a 3/3 devil. When it ETBs, creature control get +1/+0 until end of turn, and has unearth 2 and a red. So just another, you know, a nice little buff. And we have lots of 1/1+1 damage is quite nice, you know, because it might add 10, you know, 5-10 extra power to the board. And then cards like Spreading Insurrection is the other way we're going to be winning. It's really leaning to that chaos theme I was talking about, you know, just kind of seeing what happens next, not really knowing, kind of just playing by ear and, you know, using our opponent, just having fun with the game. It's 4 and a red for a sorcery, gain control of target creature you don't control until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste in the left turn, so it's a 5-mana threat, but it does have Storm. And with the load to the ground, you know, kind of creatures and small spells that we're going to be playing in this deck, it's not unlikely that Spreading Insurrection might have 3 or 4 as a Storm count, and we can get lots of triggers off it and steal a bunch of really big creatures. One of my favorite moments of Magic in general was when I cast Spreading Insurrection with this deck, and Mercadi's downfalled on a creature, and kind of attacked up someone, took their giant out of phage, took all their really big creatures, swung through, and just managed to get the win. It was just really clutch. It was a really fun moment that came out of the chaos of this deck. Thank you guys all so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is one of the more janky videos because it's a personal deck that I make for fun, and that's definitely what this is. So it's really just a fun deck. It's just a joy to play. Everyone loves it. It's just, you know, spinning that wheel, you know, not knowing what's going to be discarded, what's going to be drawn. Everyone always has a lot of fun with it, you know, just kind of the craziness, the wildness for every single player. Keeps them all in the game, keeps them all active, churning through the deck, you know, getting new cards. It's really fun to just see what happens, and it's, you know, really got good potential for just crazy moments to happen, and it's really capable of winning even on a $30 budget, and it's been built in a jankier sort of way. If you guys like these kind of, you know, more casual, funny kind of decks as opposed to the stronger ones that I normally build, let me know and I'll be sure to make some. If you like the ultra budget decks as well, let me know. I can make decks even cheaper than this if you'd like to see that. Otherwise, just thank you guys all so much for watching. Let me know if there's just a different commander or a different type of video you want to see in general. I'll shout you out if you want, and I'll also make a video on whatever you want or whatever commander. If you need help building a deck, let me know and I'll build the deck for you, or, you know, base it off whatever you want. Otherwise, just thank you guys so guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.